name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here then welcome to my channel, and today's video is going to be a very late April TBR. And because it is a late April TBR, this TBR is honestly kind of a mess. One, because I am in a reading slump and do feel a little bit impulsive about my reading decisions right now. But two, despite that, I have finished some things that would have made my April TBR if I had just filmed this video earlier in the month, including Outdrawn by Deanna Gray and Whisper Me a Love Song by Eku Takeshima. But there is still some time left in the month. There are still things to read. I will have the content warnings for everything that I talk about today linked down below in the description, and let's go ahead and get into it. First up is He Who Drowned the World by Shelley Parker Chan, which is the sequel to She Who Became the Sun. These are books 1 and 2 of the Radiant Emperor duology, which is an adult fantasy that is a reimagining of the Emperor of the Ming Dynasty's rise to power. I was actually going to start this book last month if I had just finished my Trans Rights Readathon TBR early, because that readathon was a big reason why I read She Who Became the Sun last year, and that book ended up being my favorite book of all of the books that I read last year. But I did not, in fact, finish that TBR early, so it fell into this month. I am extremely excited for this book, and I can't wait to be back with these characters again and just see where it's all going to go. I'm especially excited to just be reading this writing style again too, because that was one of my favorite parts of reading She Who Became the Sun, and I am just ready to have this series fully take over my brain again because we love and we need that. Next up is They Called Me a Lioness by Dena Takruri and Ahed Tamimi, and this is a memoir that follows the daily struggles of a Palestinian activist who was jailed at 16 years old. I have heard just incredible things about this memoir, and it's one that I really want to listen to on audio because I feel like having a voice read this to me is going to be really impactful. And then I also do, of course, just want to know this person's story. I don't tend to read a lot of nonfiction, let alone memoirs, but the ones that I have read have all been really amazing, so I'm looking forward to probably adding this one to that list as well. Next up is Wild Beauty by Anna Marie McLemore, and this follows a family of women that if they fall in love too deeply, then that person vanishes. However, after many generations go by, a mysterious boy appears in their gardens without any memory of who he is. And as our main character tries to help him piece his past together, the grounds of the luscious state of gardens that her family tends to leads them towards dangerous secrets. This one is from my spring TBR, and because I feel like I am finally surrounded by flowers in the real world, that feels like a perfect time to also get surrounded by them in the fictional one. And I am very much interested in these gardens and just getting to explore them and the house, and I feel like this is going to have a really cool mystery element to it. And when I get into these kinds of books, I really do get into them, so hopefully this will be one of the ones that I do. Next up is Zom 100, Bucket List of the Dead, story by Haro Asa and art by Kotaro Takata. And Zom 100 follows our main character Akira, who has landed his dream job and everything seems to be going really well for him. That is until he discovers the exploitative nature of his new workplace. And after 3 years go by, he is unable to recognize himself and has lost all passion for life. However, that all changes when the zombie apocalypse breaks out and he realizes that that means that he doesn't have to go back to work. He then sets out to complete the 100 things that he wants to do before becoming a zombie. Okay, so this was a series that I started back in 2023, and I've also already read a few volumes of it this month, and I pretty much stopped reading where the anime left off. And one of the things that I'm now suddenly noticing by reading the manga is that I'm not sure how much that I really enjoyed this most recent arc that I read. Like when the anime covered it, I think I was just so relieved that the anime was back from hiatus at all that I might have overlooked some things that I normally wouldn't have. And I do think that these volumes did have some really fun and heartfelt moments. Like, I am still way more positive about them than I am negative, but I do think that they got a little bit messy in this arc. And things just felt kind of forced from a story and a villain standpoint, and also occasionally a humor standpoint. So not my favorite, but again, I do still have a lot of love for this series, and I am very, very excited to be at the point where I can read the content that the anime didn't get to. And finally, we have the manga series that I've been keeping up with as a update over on the Shonen Jump and the Manga Plus apps, including You and I Are Polar Opposites, Kagurabachi, Akane-banashi, Blue Box, Shadow Eliminators, Kaiju number 8, and Kaiju number 8 B-side. And then I do want to mix in some other series as well. I just don't fully know what those series are going to be yet, so we'll see. Okay, so that is all that I have for today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that, and hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye!